So around 16 or 17 years old is the age where people start getting their first job, start working, start making a little income, right? And I don't know what it is. It's like you're sitting on your couch one day, being unproductive, and then a certain wave of realization hits you and says, get up, you need to make money, you're getting old. So boom, you're on Indeed, Google, whatever. You're looking for jobs, part-time jobs that will hire at your age. And you start scrolling and you see one you like, right? So you favorite it, call the number, or go through the process online, however y'all do it. And you go through as many jobs as you can until that one finally calls you back. And when you get that call back, it was the best feeling in the world. And for me, that call back was from Chipotle. I felt like a D1 athlete that just committed to Georgia, bro. They got that call back. They said, we want you. We like what you're about. We like your energy, your highlight reel. We want you on that front line. And then I finally start. And the big question that remains, which y'all probably want to know, is, did I like working at Chipotle? No. No. I mean, what kind of question is that? No. I mean, it's nothing to Chipotle personally. Like, the job was cool, but no one likes to work. Who willfully says, all right, say someone works at Walmart, right? Who willfully says, hey, get to work an 8-hour shift today. I hope at least 3 people are rude and complain about something today. Nobody willfully wants to work. If everyone got paid the same salary to sit at home for 8 hours that they would if they went in for 8 hours, what option do you think they choose? Everyone's sitting home because people don't want to work. But why do people work? Because it pays the bills. It gives them money to buy things that they want and need. That's why we go to work every day. I mean, maybe there are some people, those outliers, that look forward to work. I feel like that's if you like your job, if you're really passionate. But not a lot of people are passionate about jobs like Dollar Tree, Walmart, Kroger. I mean, I could just go on and on. Jobs like that, you know what I mean? I don't feel like people are really passionate about those. But what I didn't like about my job, I guess that was kind of out of the managers and employees scope, was the bi-weekly pay. I don't know if y'all have ever worked or not, but I've had 2 jobs, and one was bi-weekly and one was weekly. And I preferred very much to get paid weekly. Like, seeing a check hit your account every Friday is the best feeling. To wait every 2 weeks to get your money that you work for, it's a lot. And yeah, I mean, that means it's gonna be more, but it's a longer wait to get your money. I feel like if you have a good job that pays good, it doesn't really matter. Weekly is the move anyway. I mean, but yeah, I don't know how people do bi-weekly pay. I was talking with someone and they were talking about government jobs, and those people, there's certain like jobs in the government sector that only get paid like I think once a month. And I'm thinking, what? Once a month? I'm over here complaining about bi-weekly. These people are getting paid once a month. But then again, it's all about perspective. Just think about how fat their check is. I mean, it's a government job, so it's more than any like regular part-time job. And then it's once a month, so you know all of that. I don't know if it's at the beginning, ending. I would assume it's at the end of the month. But just think about all the work from week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. It's gonna go into that one check. Yeah, it's a fat check, but to get paid monthly, I mean, bi-weekly was bad as it was. To get paid monthly, I'm cool with my weekly pay, to be honest. It's the best feeling. Waking up early and seeing that deposit hit, yeah, smooth. But at Chipotle, the problem I had with Chipotle was I was working at Chipotle. I know when like Chipotle was trending for, not this incident, that's a whole other thing. I was not at Chipotle yet. But y'all remember when Chipotle was trending for, I guess there was not like, the portion sizes had gotten smaller. And so people were complaining. So there was a trend of like, start recording people while they're making your food because they're more likely gonna hook you up now because they're on camera. But I don't know. It was like I was working around then, and it became such a trend. I remember content creators were coming out there filming, and I was just like, dude, what is this about? But I'll put my hand up and say I always felt like I got people right. Like, I never understood my mentality when I was making a bowl at Chipotle was, I'm making it for me. How would I want it if I was the one eating it? And I know like I'd want a lot of food. You know what I mean? I feel like you always gotta put a lot of food because people are paying minimum 12, 13 for a bowl anyway. So you might as well make sure they get the most out of it, right? The bowls were like, the portions were so small. I was like, dude, like, I'm not even okay with that. So I remember just like filling the rice up to the brim. I was blessing people up with extra meat.
This is really what I...
And I was getting people right, bro. People were coming back, recommending me to their buddies, bro. We was getting tips because of me. And I didn't even know you could tip at Chipotle anyway, but the policy at Chipotle tips were different. Like, some people, like if you tip a DoorDash driver, I think the whole tip goes to the DoorDash driver. Here at Chipotle, if people tip, they just get split evenly among everyone that worked there. So yeah, but I was getting that tip jar full because people wanted to come back and see me because that's what I was doing. I was serving bowls to people. I never did. The one thing I couldn't do at Chipotle was wrap a burrito. It took me so long to wrap a burrito or to learn how to wrap a burrito. So if you were coming to me, and I'm not gonna lie, like the lesser ingredients, it was easier. But it used to frustrate me because once people started asking for like the wet liquids, so like hot sauce, what else was there? Queso was there, guac was there. Anything that was sour cream, anything that was wet that could make the bread soggy, because Chipotle's bread is not strong as it is anyway. So anything that like makes the bread wet, yeah, the burrito was getting ripped. And it was just embarrassing, like trying to fold it. And then the person, they see you make the food. So they're watching you wrap their burrito and then the thing just like explodes. It's the worst feeling, bro. If you were getting a burrito by me, I apologize. But that thing probably was not probably, that thing wasn't wrapped properly. When it was just like chicken and like rice and like cheese, I could wrap that no problem. But I was there about 6 months, never once did I learn how to wrap. I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't totally my fault because when I first got hired there, they didn't train me properly. I had to turn off that beeping, but where was I? So basically, they didn't train me properly. Like my first day there, orientation, my orientation was in the middle of a rush. We always had a rush on like Saturdays and Sundays, like this like noon to 1 or noon to 2 really. We had a rush of people come in. And that's when they decided to train me, I guess. So, but my training was like, while they were out there working on the rush, I was at the computer and I thought the lesson on the computer would like teach me about portion sizes, how to greet the customer, take the order, the extra charge about guac, the policy on double meat or triple meat. It didn't tell me none of that. The only thing, I spent 2 hours at that computer just learning about what you should do if you witness harassment in the workplace. That's really was my whole lesson. So I was there for months and still had to ask people for questions and stuff because I never got formal training or whatever. And then, so I got there and it was during a rush and they just threw me straight in there, bro. Like, I remember the first lady I ever served. It was a black lady, right? This first lady I ever served. So while I guess they were helping the rest of the line, my job was to get what are they called? The little cups, like side cups. She wanted a side cup of guac. So I was supposed to fill that up for her. So you scoop it and put it in the cup and close it. But like I said, I didn't know portion sizes. I didn't know the policies. I didn't know what. So I filled the cup halfway. Because I figured at least if she wants more, I can just ask someone around. You know what I mean? If it's less, you can always put more. But once it's more, it's like, what am I going to do? Scoop out the extra and put it back in? I feel like it's a little unsanitary. So that was just my mentality. I'm going to fill it halfway. And whatever be the case, I can always add more. And she got all frustrated. She was like, really? And I'm like, can you not read the room and tell I'm new? Like have some sympathy, whatever. So my coworker told me, now you could put more. So I filled it up, gave it to her, and she didn't say thank you or whatever. She just left. I remember her vividly. I don't remember a lot of people there because I served a lot of people, but I remember her because she was the first one. And then the one thing I feel like when people work, I feel like the one annoying thing about it is like, you see the same people a lot. And it depends on the people. Like if it was a nice, sweet person that brightens up your day, then you look forward to seeing them. But sometimes you just have the people that are rude and come here every day, and then the people in the middle that you just get tired of seeing. And the thing with Chipotle is that when people return over and over again, they have the same order. So once I saw the same person come 4 or 5 times now, like I knew their order. I was like, yeah, I got it. It's just like they hardly switch it up. And I'll be real, like when I go to Chipotle, I hardly switch up my order. Like I find one thing and I stick with it. But I'm not at Chipotle every weekend like these people, bro. Like without fail, every weekend I was working and every weekend they were there. And it was just like, it was so annoying, bro. Like I said, like if it's nice people, sweet people, then it's all good. But when you have the annoying people or anyone in the middle, it's just kind of like, I'm tired of seeing your face. I'm not gonna lie. But like I said, nothing to Chipotle, especially the staff. The staff I had was cool. I feel like they were more patient with me than I could ever be because, and with that, it's not even my fault. Cause like I said, they hardly trained me, but they were really patient. They never got mad. They always helped me out when they could. Like if it was me, and I probably would have got tired of somebody. If the roles were reversed, I probably would have got tired. But I don't know. I guess they understood it was my first job. I was just trying to make some bread, and I don't know. I finally got it though. I finally got it, and I eventually left that job when I came to college. But yeah, Chipotle's smooth. If you want to work at Chipotle, it's decent starting wage. I feel like people have like so many standards now when it comes to pay, especially if it's their first job. Like I won't work if it's under this amount, and I feel like it's good to have standards, but I also feel like if it's your first job, you got to take what you can get, because getting a job is not easy. You know, it's not easy. I've seen people apply and like not get it. It's not easy trying to get a job. So I feel like whatever you get, just take it. That's experience to work you up into whatever you want to do next, because they're gonna look back and say, okay, you did a good job there. You get a upper edge, like an advantage. So I feel like when you get a first job, you can't complain. You just have to get what you can get. Work a couple months there. No one's saying work years there. Just work a couple months. You know, build a good relationship, because if you do get another job, they're most likely gonna call your previous job to get a little feel about who you are, what they're dealing with, because interview you and past job you could be two different people. You could be the sweetest, nicest person in an interview, you know, say this, tell them what they want to hear, but if it doesn't really reflect how you was at your job, then anyone can show out for an interview. But if it doesn't reflect how you were in your job and they say you're the worst person, you got fired, they probably don't want you there, bro. I read something that said a red flag when, like, say like you have an interview at a job, a red flag is if like they don't even interview you, they just kind of like hire you. And I went through that with Chipotle. They hardly interviewed me, but that was because like I had practiced for an interview, but that was my first job, so I guess they knew like not to expect much. Like interviews, they want to know about past working experience, how to deal with difficult customers, right? But if you never worked a job before, you're not gonna know how to do that. You don't have anything to show for it. So interviews are funny nowadays. But overall, would I go back to Chipotle? Probably not. I'm not even trying to be like that type of guy, but I pride myself not to move backwards. Like I feel like if I've already done that, I don't want to go back here. I want to move forward. You know what I mean? Like I never, like once I'm done with something, I'm done. Like I don't see myself going back just because I want to try something new, move in a different direction and keep it pushing, you know? But overall, Chipotle it was smooth. I had a good crew, you know what I mean? I had good coworkers. Most of the customers there were okay. I mean, there was, of course, you're gonna have the few outliers, but most of the people there are smooth. But yeah, that's enough of a Chipotle rant. I didn't want to make this a super long video just in case. Maybe I have a part 2 out because I worked at that job for a minute, so I got stories on stories on stories. So let me know if y'all want to see that. Like, subscribe, comment, post notifications. Let's get to 100 by the end of March. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one.